What is up, YouTube? It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another movie review. I wanted to take a couple of days off, because I was seeing a lot of bad movies this year from this year on my computer, and, it took a lot out of me. So I wanted to just relax. And, well, now is a good time as any. Now that I'm done with that, I don't have to see any more bad films from 2016. I already got my bottom list. This is about the 2002 spin off to The Mummy. This came out right after The Mummy Returns, and I think it's much better. It's much shorter. I like the cast more, and it has more action and less padding, and that is the Scorpion King, the first Scorpion King, that is. Not any of the sequels or prequels or whatever that came out afterwards. Non-stop rock solid action. I agree. It's a pretty decent film. I bought this a long time ago at a Best Buy at on Black Friday a couple years ago, and I didn't see the movie since I saw it in the theater, and I never rented it on VHS or DVD. So I bought it and I saw it last year, and I'm like, this movie's pretty decent. It's short, but it gets to the point. It doesn't have a lot of padding and talking, and just The Rock. This is his first major role as a lead, and he proved that he is capable of headlining a film. And he's in a lot of stuff now, 14 years later. I still think the film holds up. I think some of the CG is a little bit dated, but it's not as bad as the CGI in Mummy Returns. I like the cast. You got Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and you got the late great Michael Clark Duncan. You got Peter Facinelli. Girls know him as fans of Twilight know him as he's the Doctor Carlisle in the Twilight series, but he also did the villain in Supergirl, Maxwell Lord. Michael Clark Duncan, like I said, rest in peace, sir. I miss you. You have you also have Kelly Hu, who I absolutely adore. You know how I feel about Asian women. I think she's beautiful. She has aged very well, and this was years after Surf Ninjas, and I'm like, wow, Kelly, who is still a gorgeous woman to look at, and she's a good actress too. I love her voice, I love her screen presence, and she carries herself as a sorceress, and she's not like a strong chick shoved in your face. She's actually subtle. You get the villain is I think it's Stephen Brand. He's right here. The guy with the two swords. He's all right. I mean, he's a passable villain. He's a lot better than Zemo in Civil War. And I don't mind. The pacing is good. It's got a good director behind it. Chuck Russell, who did the Blob remake and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. He's a good director. I like him as a director. Steven Summers produced it, and the money's on screen. The fight sequences are well done. There's no shaky cam. The Rock is he commands the screen, and he's really good in the role. Um, Also, I like the even though it's in the desert, it's short. It's not like the Lone Ranger, which is 2.5 hours. It's not boring, and it's fast paced. So once you get the Scorpion King on, the Rock is just cleaning house, and he's great. And yes, it's PG-13, but it does work for this kind of a movie. And it's a film that you can watch. If on a boring Saturday you have nothing to watch, I would say watch this and skip any of the sword and sandal films they have now, because this is so. I'd rather see this than Gods of Egypt. That I saw that, and that was freaking terrible. I'd rather see this than The Legend of Hercules. That was horrible. It flopped, and it was terrible. This was a huge hit, and it brought The Rock to the screen in a big way. And I'm glad he went on to do The Rundown and the Walking Tall remake, and San Andreas and Doom and the Fast and the Furious sequels. So I like The Rock as an actor. I like him as a wrestler as well. He's always been one of my favorites. Austin is always going to be my favorite, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I do like The Rock's films more. And I think this film is solid. It's a good early 2000s films. I saw this in the theater and I had fun. And it was a huge improvement over The Mummy Returns. That was just boring. I like Brendan Fraser, but it was too much in that movie, too much happening, and the Scorpion King was underused. Here, the spinoff worked. It's not like Elektra where they did a spinoff and it flopped, or Catwoman. This worked as a spinoff, and there were three direct-to-video sequels. I do like 3 and 4, but there were some things I didn't like in it, and they're guilty pleasures. I haven't seen the second one because it doesn't have The Rock, and it has this guy from Randy Couture. I'm like, no, but this one's solid. I like this film. It's underrated. It's a movie that deserves more attention, and it's better than a lot of these sword and sandal kind of movies that we have today. And I'm glad I have it on DVD. It was cheap, and I do like the film. I do like this first Scorpion King. So that's the Scorpion King, a 2002 film that was fun. That was a really good year for films because we had Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie. We had Attack of the Clones, which I personally like. I don't think it's that bad. This movie, and I think there was a Harry Potter film that year too. So yeah. Anyway, that's the Scorpion King. My early review of it. Do like it. It is flawed. There's some there's some characters that you could have thrown out, you could have taken out, and it could have had more action in like the middle. But it's a decent film, and it's not horrendous like some of the horribly CGI filled messes we get today. But anyway, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing. I lost some subscribers, so hopefully I could get more subscribers now because a lot of people lost subscribers last week. There was some kind of glitch in YouTube, but they better get onto it, fix that problem, YouTube, because I've given you so many chances this year and you fail sometimes. But anyway, thanks for watching my channel, and I promise I'll get to more reviews later a lot sooner. I just wanted to get the bat out because I still got a lot of movies to see in 2016 before we get to New Year's Eve. So I will talk to you guys later and see you in the next video.